الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم المبعوث رحمة للعالمين وعلى آله وصحبه ومن اهتدى بهديه إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، حياكم الله my sisters. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. إن شاء الله you will. ربنا علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما، اللهم آمين. اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا، وإنك تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم، وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. ربنا اهدنا إلى سواء السبيل. Okay, so inshallah we're going to review what we learned last week and then move on. Please try to participate. Please try to be in the front line like we learned from a hadith before, that even the participation, don't say, okay, somebody else will say, somebody else will write. No, try. If you get it wrong, we correct. If you get it right, alhamdulillah, mashallah. So the second half, the second half of verse 25 and the beginning, because we stopped at the beginning of verse number 26. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. So where we are in verse 25, قالت ما جزاء. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that Yusuf alayhi salam, or let's not start with what Yusuf alayhi salam did, but let's start with what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. واستبق الباب. They both raced to the door, and racing to the door means there is something. Someone is running, or someone is running behind, or both running to the door. But because we understand that Yusuf alayhi salam refused, he said in the previous verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, قال معاذ الله, in verse 23, معاذ الله, seeking protection, seeking refuge by Allah. Allah protects me. Allah will guard me or shield me. إنه ربي أحسن مثواي. So he sought refuge by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. At the same time, he's explaining the reason. I cannot do anything like that because I'm in the house of the man that gave me the best accommodation. So he refused, Yusuf alayhi salam. She insisted. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him a burhan to keep firm on what he's doing. Although it's a moment of trial, a big one. However, he leaned toward the truth, Yusuf alayhi salam. He said no, ma'ad Allah. She tried again, but then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed him a proof. So he kept firm and he didn't lean toward her. And to confirm for us that he's still on that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَاسْتَبَقَ الْبَابِ. So we understand that she will not race from him to the door, that Yusuf alayhi salam will race to the door because he wants to run out from that place of fitna now. And that's another lesson to look at if we didn't look at before, which is when you are in a place of fitna, don't just stay wandering there saying what's going to happen. As soon as possible, you can escape that place, that conversation, that situation, get out. Because what's going to happen in that place, you're going to be involved with it, even if you don't do anything, just because you lingered around and you didn't get out the sooner you can. So here Yusuf alayhi salam is wanting to go out of that place, and she wants to keep him in that place. How do we know? وَاسْتَبَقَ الْبَابِ. They both raced to the door, or the door. But then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, she tore, or she broke, or she cut his shirt from the back. This bit, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling it to us. No one else in the situation saw it. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling to the one who's reading, she did it. وَأَلْفَيَا سَيِّدَهَا لَدَى الْبَابِ. The moment they opened the door, they found her husband at the door. She started, because we discussed that last week, if you started with saying a story, most of the time, that's now the first story that other people have to validate. or say it happened or it didn't. But at least you have now a story to be discussed. So always the person who starts has somehow an advantage. She said, what is going to be the recompense? What is the recompense of who intended or wanted it? Arada, we looked at it. Here they say intended. The word in Arabic for intention is yanwi. But arada is more than niyyah to us, because irada means you saw something, you visibly saw something that go beyond only somebody's intention. So if someone just standing there or sitting on a chair, you cannot say you have a niyyah to do something. How do you know he has a niyyah or she has a niyyah? If they show a sign that they want something, as we said before, maybe in a different class, if one of your children showed up in the kitchen looking at you, what are you going to say? What are you going to say to your child, your brother, your sister? You are in the kitchen, your husband, and someone showed up in the kitchen and looking at you. Are you going to ask what do you want? You're not asking what you intend. You're not asking what is your intention. You want to ask, what do they want? Why? Why you say you want, you don't say intend? Because they're showing a sign by looking at you that they want something. If they have an intention, maybe they won't show up in the kitchen in the first place. Because showing up in the kitchen looking at you, that's a sign, the gesture they're making with their body that you can see. So that's why I ask, what do you want? Right? So here, arada, which means she's saying that there was an intention, but not only intention, an attempt somehow, intended, wanted, but wanted is more or closer to the word arada than intended is, because she's saying that she saw something. It didn't happen yet, but she saw a sign that told her that Yusuf alayhi salam wanted to do something wrong with her. But it cannot be just an intention. It has to be a want, which means she has to see it. Okay, to see that sign, that's arada. So bi'ahlika, this is another way we learned with your wife. Su'an. How did we explain su'an? Su'an. What did we write for su'an? Bad, dishonor, or dishonorable, something bad. If you just say something bad, understandable in Arabic. Ahsanti. Illa. So she suggested in that statement that Yusuf alayhi salam had or showed a want to do something, but as well we learned something from her statement by saying he wanted. What did we learn? We highlighted that maybe toward the end. I don't know if anyone picked it. She's saying he wanted, but as well we learned what? Oh, sorry. Yes, he wanted, but we learned what from that? Who took a note? I will repeat her question again. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, she said, what is the recompense of who wanted it or wanted with your wife su'an? She doesn't, ahsanti, mashallah. She didn't accuse Yusuf alayhi salam with doing something. She accused him with showing the sign of doing something, which is the wanting. Ahsanti, mashallah, Dawood. Barakallah fiki. If any of our sisters missed it, here is the answer to the question I was asking. By her saying he wanted, she didn't say he did. She didn't tell him, she didn't tell her husband, Yusuf alayhi salam did something, but she said he wanted to do something. Okay? And then she's suggesting the punishment herself, except that he yusjana, goes to prison or be imprisoned, أو عذاب أليم, That's another alternative. Or painful punishment. Adab in Arabic is to hurt physically or emotionally someone, that they suffer from that hurt. That's what's called punishment or torment, something that is really painful. So when you hear the word adab, that's already suggesting the pain, you see. But then when you have alim with it, so it's not even something that will hurt them for a little bit. She is suggesting very painful adab, a'udhu billah, to Yusuf. Then we covered that, alhamdulillah. Then we as well learned from that Yusuf alayhi salam said at the beginning of verse 25, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, قال هي راودتني عن نفسي. And we said that was really important. Who took a note? So first, what does it mean? He said, she asked me, or repeatedly asked me for myself, to give myself. What did we learn from that? From what he said, alayhi salam, قال هي راودتني عن نفسي. Okay. He said, she continued to ask me for myself. He told that it was, no, he didn't say anything negative. Just try to reword your statement. He was not quite correct. He didn't just keep quiet. He just rephrased the first part. Try to put it in a confirmed. He said it was her. Exactly. That's what he said. She is the one who did that, which give us the what do we learn from that? That when someone accuses you with doing something, or of course, if this is teaching you give to your children, because they may run in a situation like that. If someone is accused with doing something, when they start speaking, they should say affirmatively, like with a positive short sentence, what did happen, without saying he didn't say, she didn't do. No, I did this, or the other person did that. Clear statement, positive statement, short statement. When someone is asking what happened, sometimes we think they want the story. They want us to tell them the story. You see, Jesus ﷺ didn't tell the story here. He didn't say she closed the doors, right? He didn't say, she said. He didn't say she made advances and tried, and he didn't say the whole story. He said what happened in a concise, short, affirmative way. So this is the first learning. So if any of us, in a situation that someone is accusing them to do for something, and someone now saying what happened, don't think, please, don't think they're asking for the story. Then what are they asking? For that statement, like Yusuf alayhi salam said it. To say, he came from the door and I was sitting there and he said that, or he said this, or he's accusing me with this by saying that, or she's accusing me with this by saying that, or she hurt me like that, or he did this. Very short statement. You don't have to tell a story because once you start telling a story, a long one, what happens? This is something and I'm saying us women, Nisa, because we like to tell what happened. And I'm not saying this is bad. I'm just saying in a situation like that, this is not what's required. What happened when we start telling a story with all the details, thinking we're saying all the honest words? What happens? Who would like to tell me or share with me? When someone say what happens and we start saying, yes, I was sitting, it was 11 o'clock, and then this happened, and then that happened, and we start telling all the details with the time reference, okay, someone loses interest. Okay, that's bound to happen. But then what else? We get carried away with all the small points. Ahsanti, very, very well. And then what else? Confusion can take place. It's not going away from the truth, but it is not telling the truth yet. Confusion will take place. And now the person that is hearing what's happening could actually think that maybe the person who is telling all these details actually trying to confuse them with the details on purpose. So not only losing the main point and getting confused and all the points you said and get carried away with the details, they will think you are making it up. And they will think you're trying to distract us from the main event with the small details. Why 11 o'clock matters in the story? Why did you have to say it happened at 11 o'clock? You see, for us, again, and forgive me to say, I'm not highlighting because of discrimination or anything like that. I'm highlighting because because we are emotional about something, we are passionate about something, we like to tell all the details. But what I'm trying to tell you is all the details in a situation like that are not required. What's required is to focus on the action itself without accusing anyone if they didn't actually say it or did it, and without assumption. If the statement you said had an assumption to it, had an extra in it, you may lose that point. And now you become in a place of accusation still, rather than a place of defense. I hope I'm making myself clear, and I hope it's clear. Get straight to the point. We don't have to fill the gaps. We don't have to fill the gaps. Again, this is what I'm saying. We feel that there is a need. We feel, if we are sitting, for example, drinking coffee and having a chat, yes, it's fine. Tell the details. But if in a situation of a person want to know what happened in order to judge, you cannot tell them a story with the details of the time and the clothes and the color reference, and you have to be very specific about the color of the shirt or the scarf. You don't need that. You don't need that. You need, so what we learned from what Yusuf alayhi salam said, as you said, as you see, he didn't narrate every step from the story that happened. He didn't mention the abwab. He didn't mention what she said. He just said it clearly. هي راودتني عن نفسي. Very clear, concise statement. So now, now you have to now observe something for yourself. And it's very important to observe. Yusuf alayhi salam, please take note. Yusuf alayhi salam, in the beginning, when he saw the attempt of closing the door and all that, and she said something about hinting to that, he said ma'adallah. So that's the first point, that he said I seek, or seeking refuge by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then he stated the reason of rejecting to that idea when he said Rabbi ahsana mathwaya. Please take note, because you're going to see something now after this. So first he said ma'adallah, which shows refusing. It doesn't show agreeing. Second, he stated his reason, right? Then she continued to put advances. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because he already refused and he stated the reason, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him a burhan. So that's a support from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, so he get the first support, which is a burhan, a proof to stay firm. It's a moment of a trial. Okay, that's the third. Fourth, it continued to happen. Not only that, he had to run to the door. Then she didn't stop. She accused him still in front of her husband that he wanted to do something. Correct? Then he said the truth in very clear manner. Then you will see now another support from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala coming along. These supports from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you are overwhelmed with the emotion and what the person said or did or all the details, you may not see them. And if you're overwhelmed, okay, how this happened to me, and it's me, and I have all this history, I'm the one with this knowledge, how this happened to, if you're busy with that, you may miss them. So Yusuf alayhi salam, after in the third point, after he said seeking refuge by Allah, إنه ربي أحسن مثواي, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the burhan, right? Then after he stayed firm, he tried to run away from the place of fitna. She accused him again. Then he stated the truth. Then he will now see something he didn't even know it was there. Something that will show up that you don't count on. You don't know it will happen. But that will happen to you. Why? Because you stuck to the truth and the clarity. Okay, am I making any sense? You can ask for clarification, because now what's about to come, what's about to happen is going to give you that bushra, that's good news. Okay. What is now coming after sticking to a clear truth? Look here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَشَهِدَ. I will repeat the steps. Let me finish this point so we can have the all together, and I will repeat the steps. I will ask my sisters as well to repeat. If any of us took them on digital, please post. If may Allah reward you for that. Okay, so وَشَهِدَ شَاهِدٌ مِّنْ أَهْلِهَا. So now let's try and understand, what does this mean? وَشَهِدَ شَاهِدٌ مِّنْ أَهْلِهَا. وَشَهِدَ. Wa means and. Shahida, testified. We can understand shahida to testify, it's in the past tense, or to witness. Ahsanti. So we can say witnessed or testified. Okay, that's the first one. Shahidun. So once the person start testifying or stating their testimonial, we call them witness, because now they're saying what they witnessed, what they saw, or what they observe as not with their eyes, observe as with their understanding. So excuse me. So they heard the story. Apparently they heard what she said. They heard what Yusuf alayhi salam said. She's saying do this and that, or how he's going to be punished, and Yusuf alayhi salam saying the truth. Then they observed something. What is it that they observed? This shahid, this person, what did he witness? What did he see? There is something visual. And that's why he's called shahid. So there is something he saw and there is something he observed. He saw the shirt. There was evidence. Subhanallah, there was a shirt. The shirt that is torn. So Yusuf is standing in front of them with a broken shirt. So that witness now looked at the situation and had observation. So there was something to witness as there was something to see, right? And there is something to observe from what you see. Okay? The witness saw the shirt torn after Yusuf alayhi salam said she wanted. This shahid was, subhanallah, min ahliha, from her family. So a person was there from the wise family, was there in the home. We don't know who, Allahu alam, from her family. So again, that again proves that if the witness is there witnessing something, observing something true, clear, they should speak. It doesn't matter if you're speaking with or against that member of your family if they did wrong. So it was from her family. What is his shahada now after he saw the shirt? So he saw the shirt and he concluded something, which is the observation he has. He said, إن كان قميصه قد من قبل. So let's read slowly. In. How do we understand the in? If كان أحسنتم ما شاء الله تبارك الله. كان was. We can say it here because we have the subject coming forward. Was قميصه. Was or is أحسنتي. قميصه, his shirt. قد. قد. We said there is a difference between قد and قطع. قطع is to cut like with a knife, with the scissors, but قد is to tear. Okay, torn, ripped. من قبول. من قبول. Min is from. قبل is not قبل. قبل is before. قبل is like قبلة, like what you face. So قبل now means front, the front side. Each of us have two sides. قبل and دبر. قبل, your قبل is where your face is, with that, with our front. And دبر is where our ظهر is, our back. So وشهد شاهد من أهلها, and witnessed or testified a witness from her family. And then we have between brackets or a side note that he had to see something visual, and as well he had to observe a truth coming through that visual, as he has to read through that proof, the evidence. Then he started saying the testimonial, which is, if his shirt was torn. So now how you see how you put them together, there is back and forth words. In English, you have to put it in a different order. If his shirt was torn from front side, فصدقت. فصدقت. How do we understand فصدقت? She said the truth, because as before you noticed that there are two statements. Her statement that suggests that he wanted to do something wrong and suggesting the punishment too, and his statement when she said هي راودتني عن نفسي, she is the one who did that. Then the witness said, if the shirt was torn from front, then she said truth. Then her statement was correct, that he attempted to do something with her. وهو من الكاذبين. وهو من الكاذبين. And he is, أحسنتي, he is among the liars or from the liars. أحسنتي. That was the first part of his testimonial. Okay? And the proof of the truth is always there. So now you see Yusuf alayhi salam stuck to the truth, stuck on stuck as from stick, like to say, to remain truthful, to remain honest, to remain guarding the orders of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that he doesn't want to do anything that is indecent or dishonorable. Then this man now, and he's not even from like a neutral side, it's from her side. This man came up. I'm saying man because the word shahid can be is masculine. It's not shahidah, it's shahid, but it could be anyone, Allahu A'lam. Came and said that. So now someone is speaking. You see, when you stick to the truth, what happens? Someone now is speaking in your behalf. Someone is defending you, and you didn't even count on that. You see what's happening? Can we observe that? Can we observe that Yusuf alayhi salam did not think, did not assume that there going to be someone will come and actually make his situation clear in a way that he didn't even had to prove it himself. They say, look, he didn't say, Yusuf alayhi salam, look, she tore my shirt. He didn't say that. He just said she did what she did. And now this person now is speaking on the truth behalf. So now, what are the steps that my sister said? Defend him without witnessing. Without witnessing? How is it defending without witnessing? I'm not sure what you mean, my sister. Defending without witnessing. Well, because of the evidence. The evidence is what he witnessed, my sister. So please take the without witnessing part. I'm not sure. Okay. But if you say without witnessing, you're saying of course, accidentally, you're saying when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said he is a witness, you're saying accidentally that he is not. Because you're saying he didn't witness. He's a witness because he saw the shirt. Yes, he didn't see the racing, but he saw the shirt, and the shirt is there. So please remove this part if you can. So he's defending, he's speaking on his behalf because he saw the shirt, and now he's concluding an observation, and that's why he is called a witness. And that's why he is called a witness. Okay. So what are the steps? Because my sister asked about the steps earlier. So who took note of the steps? You want to help? When you are in a situation of a big trial, step number 1, Allahu Akbar. We have Allahu Akbar, mashallah, tabarakallah. Step number 1, Yusuf alayhi salam said, I seek refuge by Allah. He didn't say I. He didn't say A'udhu Billah. So because you said he said, take the I away and put ing in seek. So become seeking refuge from Allah, or not from Allah, by Allah. By Allah. That's step number 1. Ma'adh Allah. It's not mu'adh, it's ma'adh. Okay, my dear sisters, we seek protection and refuge. I think the better preposition to use in English is by, not from. Because, for example, when you read isti'adha, you say what? A'udhu billahi mina, from ash-shaytan ar-rajim. I seek refuge by Allah from ash-shaytan. So you cannot say seeking refuge from Allah. You say seeking protection or refuge by Allah. Ma'ad Allah, ahsanti. So the first thing he said, Ma'ad Allah. Second thing, he gave, no. He didn't give Burhan. He gave, Burhan is coming in another step. Step 2, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving Burhan is coming in the next step. What is step 2? Who took note of the second step? So first, seeking refuge by Allah. Second, he gave reason why I don't do that. So he don't only said no, he said no, and he said why he's refusing to do what she's asking him to do. Okay, so, and that is when you are in a situation that is maybe similar or something very hard, and you give a reason for not doing, it means you don't want to do. Okay, so third, what happened after he said Ma'ad Allah, and he stated his reason by saying Innahu Rabbi Ahsana. That's the second. Third step, Ahsanti. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give his support or protection first, because he sought protection by Allah, didn't he? By what? The Burhan. So my sister Zahra, add to your note, by showing him a Burhan. So you're clear in which step are you. Because he sought protection by Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave the protection. The proof of the Burhan. Okay. Then she continued harder. She wanted more, right? And she accused him as well. He remained on the truth. So the fourth step, after you see the first sign from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, things could get harder. Things could get harder. But then what you need to do is remain on the truth. Ahsanti, staying firm, staying on the truth. Ahsanti, he as well ran away from the fitna. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. So we can add, he ran away from the fitna as a step number 4. And step number 5, he stayed firm on the truth. He ran away from the fitna. You can add them in together even if you want in the same point. And then what happened? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave another support. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave another by someone coming up, showing up, subhanallah, someone showing up and witnessing and defending him, although he doesn't even know him. He stated the truth in clear manner. That's step number 5. Stated the truth in clear manner. And then step number 6, someone showing up, defending him and stating what happened, or the observation, although Yusuf even doesn't know him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent a witness to defend him and to speak on his behalf. So what we conclude, that is the conclusion. Those 6 steps are the conclusion. Let's give an example. Every time I give an example of a hardship, can you give me example of a hardship that anyone or any of us could go through? An example, just to tell me someone in that situation, and for us to try to apply all the 6 points. How can we see the signs? How can we see the support? Give me example, please. Okay, I'm not receiving anything yet. Shall I move on? Okay, I'll move on. Inshallah, when you have examples, share with me. The witness continued to say, so the verse 27 is the second part of the witness testimonial or witness. And then he said, وَإِن كَانَ قَمِيصُهُ قُدَّ مِن دُبُرٍ. So, وَإِن, and if, كان, is or was, قَمِيصُهُ, we already learned from above, his shirt, قُدَّ, torn, ripped, min dubur. So now that's the opposite direction. So if qubul means the front, then min dubur means from back or from the back. Then he said, فَكَذَبَتْ. And you see, he's starting always with her. Why? Who can? I will give 5 stars. That's it. I will give 5 stars for the one who can tell me why every time the witness starts with her. In the previous verse, it was فَصَدَقَتْ. No, it could be, but this is not the reason. Allahu alam. There is another reason. In the first line, no. She has the power. She is the one. No. To keep positive. Allahu alam. No. His slave. No. Allahu alam. There is another reason, and we discussed it this time and last time. She's a woman? No. She has to be a woman in this. She is a woman. She's a woman. No. Why you thought that? Why you thought because she's a woman? No, it's not because of that. Wallahu alam. My sisters. No, not ladies first. So, no. She's the one who's accusing. Okay, I'm getting some here saying it was her story first. Oh, wow, Allah Akbar. So I think Sumaya, Naima, and Rumana need the 3 stars. She is the one. She is the one that spoke first. It was her story to be validated, approved, or not. Five stars each. Did I say 3 stars or 5? 5. Okay. So, mashallah, tabarakallah. Santum, mashallah, tabarakallah, because it was her story. So when we have now the first statement, the second statement has to go against it. That's why the one who speaks first gets that advantage. So every time when he's speaking, he is referring back to her because it was her story. She is the one that said first. So if his shirt was torn or ripped from the back, so she lied. Her statement that to start with is false statement. It didn't happen. She lied. وَهُوَ مِنَ الصَّادِقِينَ. And he is from those who says or states the truth. He is from those among the truthful. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us who did it, right? From which direction his shirt was torn. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in the previous verse. From which direction? Do we already know? As the one who's reading the story, do we already know? From the back, and then look, next verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَلَمَّا رَأَى قَمِيصَهُ قُدَّ مِن دُبُرٍ. So when, I'm going to just finish until here and stop, because the next bit has the kaid, and we have to refer back to another story to understand kaid. So فَلَمَّا, so when رَأَى, he saw, the husband, his shirt, Yusuf alayhi salam shirts, torn or ripped from back. So you see, it was there, and we already know the answer from before. We know that he's innocent from before. We know he didn't do. So something happened when and this is always the case, when someone tried to put you in trouble falsely, they miss on the truth because shaitan is helping them. They miss an evidence to the truth, but the truth remains always there. The truth remained by her wanting Yusuf alayhi salam to stay inside the room, so she grabbed him from the shirt, it torn. The truth remained that a witness came and said all that. Yusuf alayhi salam didn't say it. It was someone else, subhanAllah, speaking on his behalf. So what you need to feel comfortable or reassured with, that if you have the truth on your side, the truth will show up. This is something Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it for the truth. It has to shine. It has to come out. No one can hide it for so long, no matter how long it stays, but it will show up. So what you need is the perseverance. You need to be patient. You need to hold control. You need to remain in control of your nafs, of your emotion, to say always the truth, to stick to the truth, and then you will find the support from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for us to see what's right and to follow what's right and to call for what's right. Allahumma ameen. اللهم ارزقنا قول الحق والعمل به والدعوة إليه. اللهم آمين. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. إن شاء الله we continue next time. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.